So let's go through Tai Chi Walk first, okay? So Tai Chi Walk is important because the bottom portion of our body has to match our top. The top is not any good if there's nothing moving us through the bottom. So Yang 16 and 24 and 88, unlike the 10, which the 10 grooms you for the other three forms because we know T stance, L stance, and bow stance, and we know our sit back and sit down. All of that is wrapped up into Tai Chi Walk, so it's nothing wasted. It's probably more advantageous, okay? But we have to kind of draw the similarities and apply the same types of techniques, okay? So let's really kind of clean it up. Hands at our waist. When our hands are at our waist, our shoulders are still dropped. Drop the shoulders, and then just put your hands at your waist. They should never be raised. Once you set up your Tai Chi posture, the posture remains for the entire set, no matter what the movement is. Okay, remember that, okay? Pivot out with your right heel, walk in that right zigzag direction. Firm down on the right to create a left insubstantial on a line or parallel to the line, a L stance. There's no weight or hardly any on that advancing left foot. The weight and the energy remains in this right foot where it is flexed and the leg has all that energy stored. We're going to dispense it. How? From the flat of the foot all the way through your system. Then we're going to turn the hips and waist and we're going to flatten down in a bow stance. Now we've created a 60 in the front and a 40 in the back. But we want to be safe. We need to create a insubstantial. This was a substantial, so the alternating foot now becomes the insubstantial. Here we go. Sit back and sit down. Twist out to the left zigzag. Walk in that direction with both hips. Firm down, heel out. Energy stored on the left now goes all the way through the system. Then you can turn your hips and waist and flatten down, bow stance. So bow stance is the same thing. Bow in the front, arrow in the back. The foot in the front is parallel to the line or on a line. Same thing that we learned in 10 form. Sit back and sit down. Twist out to the right. Walk in that direction, firm down, heel out. Move the energy from the right or planted foot all the way across, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, walk in that left zigzag, heel out, move the energy, turn the hips and waist down. Sit back, sit down, all the way back down, sit down, twist out to the right, zigzag there, L, move the energy all the way through your system and then down, bow stance. So that is the pattern, but each time you do it, you have to do it very well and drain that energy and exaggerate your movements. What you think are defined and clear need to be even more well defined. Twist step, L, move the energy, T. Sit back, sit down, twist out, walk in that left zigzag, heel, move the energy. Don't forget to move the energy. That front foot cannot just plop down. The energy has to move. Otherwise, why store the energy like now? You stored it so that you can drain it and put it back on the front. Okay, one last one. Sit back, sit down, twist out, walk in that zigzag, heel, move the energy, then turn the hips and waist, flatten down, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, and hold your stance. Hold your stance while I turn around. Okay, now wait, stay there. Ask yourself, is my butt tucked in? Is my head erect? Are my shoulders down? Is my chest still sunken? You should have Tai Chi posture, okay? Okay, walk back to your position. So what I want to impress upon you is that if you take the time, and you should, and sit back and sit down to create a weightless foot that's safe for you to then move, in this position, the energy cannot just jump between the 2 feet and come down this way. That's not Tai Chi. There's so much of a disconnection right there. If you take the time to sit back and sit down, store the energy, because Tai Chi says only the weightless foot can advance. You cannot just then store the energy and expect the energy to just plop here, okay? And if you extrapolate and talk about daily activities or routine, this is going to be advantageous how you transfer your energy, okay? So the energy, you should feel the heaviness or weighted in your sole of the foot should somehow grow, generate it and make it move all the way through, all the way to your shoulders and your neck and your head. And at some point you will feel the time to release that energy and turn the hips and waist and come down. So that's a lot of words. Sit back, sit down, twist, sit back, sit down, and then you're going to come up, twist, step. I have to move this way. I have to move all the way through, turn my hips and waist, and then flatten down this way. Take that time to religiously detail it out, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. That's the bottom line. Why should you take the opportunity and the time to store the energy when all of a sudden you just want to plop it down? You don't want to do that. You want to keep it as long as you can to build that strength, to make Tai Chi, I want to say logical, or it makes more sense where you can then move that front foot, store the energy, keep the energy there, put it in L stance, move the energy all the way through, not just through here and then there, all the way through. Turn the hips and waist will help you to then flatten down, okay? And the knees not beyond the toes. It's not easy, okay? But the better you can get at Tai Chi Walk, the more powerful your upper body becomes, and then as a whole, the whole body is working more efficiently, more in the optimal manner. So that's what we're striving for, okay? So know that it's out there, know that that's your goal. Do not take shortcuts. And if you are diligent in what you know and try to do now, will build with you, because you will gain more strength and you will have better understanding. Okay, now.
Remember, the dantian is your center of gravity. So whether you're going forward or back or twisting, the center of gravity is what you got to focus on. You don't move this or you move it improperly, the rest of your body will go either in the correct or incorrect direction. So we're so fascinated with upper body. You have to remember, this part's got to be very flexible. It directs what the rest of your body's going to do. You go this way, everybody's going to go this way. You go this way, everybody's going to go that way. And then the rest follows, okay?
So you may get the conclusion, or draw the conclusion, that Tai Chi is about energy. How you direct your energy, your chi within your system. That's the stuff that we want to direct correctly and move from something being stagnated through usually the joints, okay? All right, so then if we say we've built a good platform and we understand how to do Tai Chi Walk and how it helps us and is powerful in putting Tai Chi together, then we're gonna create our upper body, okay? And I want to stay away from hands, because usually when you think of hands, it's the wrist, it's the arm, it's maybe a little bit of the upper arm. But when we talk about the upper body, it's the hips and waist all going together, shoulders, neck, head, vision, everything, okay? So this is the powerhouse, okay? Power horse of your body. We want to make sure we activate it and know how to activate it in the right way. Okay? And remember our turn your shoulder thing? Went up and we turned in, we went out and we turned out, up and we turned out. So this is the stuff also. It's not just up or down, okay, but it's the turning. And ever so often ever so strongly, we turn on our spine. It's not a full rotation, but it could be a slight revolving, okay? So that's important too, because that's part of our system. We want to enact, we want to implement everything that we have to make it work well, okay? We don't want anything left behind. All right, so with that. Let's go through the 16, coming forward, and there are going to be times when you can't see me, and I'm going to work on some of those movements. But what our task is now is, of course, we want to know what comes after what, our sequencing. But more so, I want to try to draw the connection between Tai Chi Walk, the foundations, and what we're doing with the upper body in the form 16, okay, form 16. So we start with the clock wall, which lots of you already know, which is good, okay? Dropping the shoulders, good Tai Chi posture. Commencing form, shift weight to the right, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, lets you off the ground, open, 50-50, rotate. Deep breath in as we elevate and draw up the water at shoulder level. Reverse the posture, push down, make yourself small, flex your knees. T-stance, holding your ball. Out and to the side, from the bottom of your foot, through your system, all the way up, turn the hips and waist, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back and sit down. There's that Tai Chi walk being started already. Twist out, walk in that zigzag, hold your ball for better balance, out on an L, move the energy all the way to the top, turn the hips and waist, part 2. Next movement, half step forward, hold your ball, weight is on the front. As you spin the ball to the right, your weight then goes back to the back foot to allow the front foot to come up and rock off the ground, point it out, set it up correctly. White crane spreads its wings. So I want to remind you now too that you are still in Tai Chi posture, even with this formation. We're going to drop the front foot and we're going to tuck the elbow in and draw that hand closer to the midpoint. We're going to bisect all the way through to Danten. Swirl back and look back and set it up correctly. 3 things happen. What? Ear, hand, and heel. Turn the hips and waist. Brush your knee. Sit back and sit down. Walk in that right zigzag. Set it up correctly. Heel out. Oh, heel, hand, turn the hips and waist. Brush knee. 2 and final. So you saw me put my heel and I didn't connect because 3 things should happen. But going slowly, I have to sometimes choose, but I should know better, okay? So after 2 brush knees, we're gonna seem like we're doing another brush knee, but it gets a little fancier, okay? So we sit back and we sit down, we pivot out, we put our left hand high and our right hand is fisted closer to our hip. No energy has expended, so that should not be a problem. Weight is on the back. What do we want to do? The Tai Chi Walk says we need to step into the left position as if we're zigzagging, okay? So we're gonna do that, but when we do that, as we shift our weight, this hand comes down, this hand comes up. Do it together. But not now, when we shift our weight, soon after, okay? Here we go. Right now, heel, pivot out to deflect, bring it in, that fist in, shift the weight to parry, and then to punch. Touch the elbow to strip the guy off. Open the fingers so that the palms are facing upwards. Roll back. Push the guy down while you sit down, right? Push him up. Push him out. Okay, now I wonder if we should change our position. I think the answer is yes. Okay, you remember, left foot forward, we push the guy out, right foot back, turning to the field, okay? I'll give us a little time to rest, a little time to gather our mind. So left foot forward, and we're in a bow stance, and we push the guy out. Are your shoulders dropped? That's a good question. What are we gonna do now? We're gonna pivot on our back and pivot on our front. How? Both feet have weight. Therefore, we're gonna have to give up some weight of the back and pivot, then pivot again, and you look like me. The right hand hooks as you shift your weight. Why am I bending that, flexing? Because I'm shifting my weight. I'm on a T. Left hand is by your cheek of your right cheek. It comes out, turns the hand, turns the palm out, and pushes out. What do we do now? Pivot on the front, right? Is that right? No, half step forward. Okay, we're in single whip, okay? Half step forward, that means right foot on its toe, right hand forward, drop back on your right, elevate your front on the toe, set it up, play your lute. Is that right? We're gonna repulse the monkey, is that right? Open, glance, backwards walk, Tai Chi walk, step back, draw back, push forward. Center, open, glance, lift all together, toe, heel, pivot on the ball, draw back. All right. Now, let's just take it from where we are. This is what we're going to work on today, okay? We're going to pivot on the front heel and pirouette on the right toe. So anytime you hear pivot on the heel, that's for the forward foot, and the pirouette is on the toe of the right or back. So here we go. Pivot on the front, pirouette on the back. You should be like me. The left hand is 2 inches below your navel, that's in your dantian area. The right hand, the palm is facing the ceiling. We're on the toe of our right foot. The weight is on the left. You're gonna watch first, okay? You're gonna stay in this position. You want to spin out and put your heel down of what foot? It's gotta be only the right, because that's the only foot that can move. So you want to spin out and use the heel of the weightless foot. You're gonna watch while I do it. Spin out, reposition, okay? And only I was supposed to do it, okay? Because if you do it, then you can't see what I'm gonna do, okay? You shift your weight, you hold your ball, you spin your ball, and you shuttle this way. That's what you're gonna do with me now, okay? So, gotta take a peek at you guys. All right, so you pivoted, pirouette, and this is where you are. We said the weight is all on the left. This is the only foot that take a spin out to put a heel on. When we do that, we're gonna reposition our ball. Right now our ball, the right hand is wrong. So the only foot that can spin out is our right heel. When we put it on its heel, we're gonna reposition our right hand. Here we go. Spin out with our heel, reposition our ball. Shift the weight to the right. Come out with your left like a L stance. Turn the ball, spin the ball, and maiden is on her left. Maiden has to go on her right now, okay? Sit back and sit down. pivot in, take an in step, hold your ball. Right foot's ready to go, right hand's on the bottom so we know. So we're gonna spin out with our right heel as we turn the ball and put it to the forehead and put the shuttlecock right there. All right, and then you can't see me, okay? So we turn around. So what I went through is really important. So you're gonna have to look at your online lesson, okay? Because the more you do it, the better you can get, adapt to it, okay? So I'm gonna show you in the position that I did it, and then you somehow figure it out, okay? So I think we just did this, yeah? Pivot on the front, pirouette on the back, spin out, kick out, shift the weight, L stance, flip the hand, put it right there. Sit back, sit down, in step, hold your ball. L stance, spin the ball, put the shuttlecock right there, flip the hand. Half step to the back, and then we go down to the bottom of the seat. All right? So, you know, I have two ways of teaching you how to do the pivot and pirouette. We're going to do two ways. Actually, let me clarify. There are two positions or locations in which we can start to do our drill. One is, okay, I'll just show you, it's easier. One is sort of in this way, okay? And this is the way I would position you, okay? Pivot, pirouette, kick out, heel, maiden on her left. Sit back, instep, ball, maiden on her right. Half step, and this is the view that you would get, okay? That's the first one. And this is the second one, okay? The second one we start with everybody faces away from me and faces the street. Pivot on the front, pirouette on the back, kick out with your heel, maiden on her left. Sit back, instep, hold your ball, L stance, maiden on her right. Half step to the back, needle to the bottom seat. Okay.